A Texas star shined bright on a gloomy day at Road Atlanta as the Playboy Mazda MX-5 Cup opened its 2008 season. Now Eric Voss will try to make it 2 straight. This one, though, will be run in very rainy conditions north of the border. The Playboy Mazda MX-5 Cup is next. And welcome to Mostport International Raceway. We're in Bowmanville, Ontario, in Canada for the Victoria Day Speedfest. Second race of the Playboy Mazda MX-5 Cup here in 2008. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin. Elliot Forbes Robinson is alongside. Rob Albright will have our coverage today down on pit road. And Elliot, it has been a soaking wet weekend here so far.
Yeah, and it's Mosport. You know, it rains a lot up here, but the interesting thing is this has a rain line that you better know, because if you get it right, the track is really pretty fast. If you get it wrong, you'll be in the grass.
The MX-5 Cup cars are on the racetrack getting set for a start in what should be very, very soggy conditions. Now, this is a legendary facility, Elliot. 10 turns here and very challenging.
Well, turn 1, 2, and 3 are all extremely fast and very slippery, and you have to run around the outside of them. Down around the 5 at Moss Corner, it is very tight, a lot of action in that area, and at the end of the straight is one of the fastest corners anywhere that you have to come around and then tighten up at the end.
And just under 2.5 miles here at Mostport. Brad Rampelberg will have one of our onboard cameras today, and that is the Hoover Speed 14 car. He qualified 8th. Robert Huffmaster will actually start 3rd in his Team MER 27 car. He did qualify 4th quick, but Ryan Shimska was such a player in the opener, Elliot. He's getting shuffled to the rear of the grid. He was late coming out for the start here.
Yeah, that happens once in a while. You see that not very often, especially with a team that is as good as he's got here. And they do put you at the back, which really hurts.
Anders Hayner will start in the 4th spot alongside the car of Robert Huffmaster. Elaban Goulart, 3rd quick qualifier at Road Atlanta. He's from Connecticut. Todd Burris, who was the runner-up at Road Atlanta, they'll make up the 3rd row. 4th row is Rampelberg in the 14. Robert McCallion from California in the 19 car. He will start in the 8th spot. Neil Sapp and Steve Welk will make up row number 5. Welk in the 57, Sapp in the 33. Field starting to move on a couple of pace laps here as we get set to go green today. The Victoria Day Speedfest. Brett Smurs underweight in tech. He'll have to drop to the rear. He qualified, well, his time was disallowed, actually. He qualified in the top 5, and there's Ryan Shimska in the 81. He'll have to line up at the back of the field as well. Show you the rest of the starting lineup. Deborah Lott, who was a contender at Road Atlanta. She'll start 11th with Harrison Williams, Forrest Barber and Tim Probert, Allison Malkasian, Carlos Tesler-Mabe in 16th spot. Randy Hale and Brad Adams will make up the 9th row. Laura Olson and Kim Oye, who making her first start of the season. She'll be in the 20th starting position. There's Brett Smurs, Ara Malkasian, who was a player at Road Atlanta, and Ryan Shimska. So some pretty fast cars at the back of the grid. But Elliot, as heavy as the rain is here today, what will we see when we go green?
Well, from the back, you're not going to see much. You're just going to see a big cloud of water in the air, and it's going to be extremely tough to come through this field because everybody's going to be so busy just staying on the road. They're not going to be taking a particular line where you can count on where they're going to be.
Well, wet weather setups and wet weather tires critical here. Rob Albright will be on pit road for us today. He's got more on the tire choice and how you attack a wet race.
Kumho manufactures 2 high-speed tires for MX-5 Cup racing, a grooved racing slick, and a blocky tread tire for the rain. Todd Burris won this race in 2006, and with threatening weather looming, Todd, talk to us about the difference in the way you drive these race cars on dry tires versus wet tires.
Totally different. First of all, we work real hard at our setups in the dry because we always assume it's going to be dry. But when the rain is looming and threatening, we definitely work hard at getting a softer car. So we don't want to be so stiff. We want the car to really absorb the corners, and we really need a good rain tire to funnel that water out of the tire. So Kumho's come up with a good design that really helps get the water out of there and gives us a lot of grip in the rain. Makes you feel more solid when you're going through a corner.
Does it make you change your driving style as well?
Absolutely. You go into a corner with slicks on, really hard on the brakes, going through, you're really leaning on the car. Traditional dry line. Well, that line gets worn out after time, and we take a non-traditional line, so we're about 5 to 6 car lengths or 5 to 6 feet off our traditional line, where people don't normally venture, where the tire can really hook up and there's not a whole lot of sweat or smoothness in the track.
The driver that can master either type of race tire probably will be the one standing at the top of the podium this afternoon.
And it's going to be tough to master either one. With the amount of water out here, that car is going to be on top of the water, not into the track today.
Well, Todd Burris will line up in row number 5 here today as we get set to go at Mostport International Raceway up in Canada. Robert Huffmaster, that Team MER 27 car. Now, he was certainly a contender at Road Atlanta. Elliott, he starts toward the front here today. How difficult will it be for these drivers? Will the rain be pouring in on them, or will it blow over the tops of these MX-5s?
Oh, it'll blow over the top. They'll actually be quite dry in the car. But it's the vision and the traction, and you see the slick spots on the track that you have to stay away from on this track, which have no grip.
Coming to the green flag, ready to get going. Round number 2 of the Playboy Mazda MX-5 Cup in 2008. Glad to have you with us. We are underway at Mosport. 4 wide as they head down into turn 1.
And boy, that's slick. You know, on the outside is where you want to be. Oh, almost. Yeah, there you go. You see that inside is going to be slick, and it's going to throw you out. The outside is where the nice part of the track is.
And Robert Huffmaster, we've got that onboard look. He lost it through turn 1 there, right off in the weeds. Here's another look.
Yeah, you can see that Foss is on the outside and got a little bit of grip there, and you see that really sideways right there, straightens it up, and got nowhere to go. He actually did a pretty good job of just keeping it off the wall and not crashing the car.
Yeah, his day would have come to an end very early in one corner of this race, and there's trouble again. Another car. Is that the outside front row starter? Is that Christian Frank? He's got oncoming traffic to contend with there. Caution waving in that part of the racetrack. That is downhill toward turn 3. Frank it is, and the Alara Racing Machine started alongside Eric Foss on the front row. And boy, with so much water on this racetrack, I like the job Eric Foss is doing here in the first couple of corners to find a place to get some grip.
Oh, it is. And, you know, it's a matter of just slowing yourself down enough and not going racing and finding out how much grip you have and where it is and looking for it. And what you'll see is the guys trying different lines. They'll be outside, inside, because some corners, even though you know the outside should be good, some corners have it on the inside.
Steve Welk back there in that yellow 57 car battling for position. Right now everyone chasing Eric Foss out of Fort Worth, Texas, the Team MER Auto Barn Mazda. He, of course, won the season opener. He's the early championship leader. But these rain races are so entertaining, Elliott. You see so many different things happen on an extremely wet day like this. Back on board with Rampelberg in the Hoover Speed car, who's up in the top 5.
And you can see what he's in. There's not much out there you can see. A lot of spray, but it's really interesting. You can see the patches on this pavement. When you get to those patches, there's no grip. I'm surprised in this corner here there isn't more people running around the outside, because I know for a fact that corner has more grip on the outside. And you can see, again, Foss is running right around the outside of the corner, and everybody else is here too.
Todd Burris in second spot, at least for the moment. And Burris took more of a conventional low line there. Do you want to run in the wake of the car in front of you, or do you want to find a piece of racetrack to run on where nobody's been for a while?
Well, actually, I haven't noticed the wake until it starts to dry out, make a bunch of difference. What you're looking for is a place where there's grip on the track.
Gap is about 12 car lengths, first to second here, up the short straightaway. Rampelberg trying to stay in front of Steve Welk now. This is a battle for third spot. Meantime, Ryan Shimsky qualified very well, had problems on lap number 1. He's already coming to pit road. Looks like they're going to have to make some repairs to the Team MER machine. Let's get more Rob Albright on pit road today.
On the very first lap, entering turn number 1, contact with another car. He's on pit road. It looks like a damage to the left front of the car. Maybe a new left front Kumho tire, but certainly some damage to the left front as the crew continues to assess what may be wrong with the number 81. This driver led 11 of the laps at Road Atlanta. Nearly half of the race, was a pre-race favorite here this afternoon, and already out of contention for the win here at Mostport.
So that should allow Eric Foss to breathe a little easier. Coverage of the Playboy Mazda MX-5 Cup being brought to you by Mazda. On any given weekend, more Mazdas are road race than any other brand. We'll be right back.